A good cool down is the best way to say thank you to your body after a hard workout. What's up guys, Dr. Joe Ruskowski from IDPT here, back with another episode. Today we're going to be talking about a good cool down after you play a game, practice, or after a workout. The impact that that has on your body, both from a physiological standpoint and also a mechanical standpoint. And then I'm gonna give you some exercises that you can implement right away. Exercises that are gonna be really effective for whoever you are. If you're a high level athlete or you're someone who just likes to work out hard multiple times a week, this is gonna be a great episode for you guys. When we're talking about a productive cool down, we want it to have two elements. Number one is we want to impact the nervous system. So we want to impact the parasympathetic nervous system, which is really the rest and digest part of the nervous system. This is when it's the end of a long day, you're feeling your eyes get heavy, your heart rate slow down, your pupils really dilate, and everything just starts to relax. That's the part of the nervous system that we are trying to affect. And so what that's going to do is not only decrease tension in your muscles, but it's actually going to create space in your joints so that you get more fluid mobility, so we lose the effects of any of stiffness in the joints. We don't want any like creaking or rubbing in the socket. It's going to give us more space. The other thing a good cool down is going to do is it's going to allow for more blood flow back into your muscles, right? After a hard workout, we're going to get a lot of blood flow to the area because that's the site that we're affecting, but ultimately we are constricting our muscles. So over time, if we stay in a constricted state, we're gonna actually start to restrict some of the healing properties of blood flow through those muscles and through the joints. So this is going to allow for that healing and natural, healthy inflammation to occur. So as far as working on the parasympathetic nervous system, the fundamental principle that we're going to be going off of is deep, relaxed breathing. So typically with this, what we want to do is we want to take long, soft inhales through our nose. We want to feel our rib cage and our whole body open up. And then we want to take deep, long, but relaxed breaths out through our mouth. Typically that's either through pursed lips and a soft breath out, or it might be an open mouth, like fogging up a glass, like general rule of thumb is if you're more of like a taller, skinnier type of person, you want to go off that latter suggestion, the open mouth fogging up the glass. And if you consider yourself to be a stronger, more brolic person, or maybe just like a wider, little stiffer, more rigid person, then you want to go pursed lips to get the rib cage to close down as you breathe out. The other thing the breathing is going to do is it's just going to relax your whole body. So what I'm going to do is give you a few different type of breathing activities. The last thing about the breathing exercises is that if we put you in a specific position, typically we'll utilize the ground too, so we'll be on the floor, but we can actually influence where the breath is going to go. So for example, if you picture your body as a big plastic bag of water, which it is, our body's 90% fluid between air and liquid, we can push that fluid to different parts of the body that we want to gain more range of motion and gain more space in that part of the body. As we're going through the different exercises, I will describe where we are going to influence more space in the body. So let's go through a few movements and then I'll give you some more tips. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do breathing on our side, and what we're going to use are half foam rollers. If you have yoga blocks at home, that works too. If you have nothing, just use the ground. So again, like I talked about earlier, if you imagine our body being a big plastic bag of water, if we lay on our right side, where is that fluid going to push? It's going to push forward and backwards. So this is going to be really good to open up the lower back, but it's also going to be good to open up the chest area and the upper back. The other thing it's going to do, of course, as I mentioned earlier, is as we work the breathing, it's going to bring our nervous system back down after a workout, okay? Now you might wonder, why are we blocking the right side? Well, the answer is we can do both sides. I'm perfectly happy with that. The reason I like to start on the right is because humans are right side dominant. As a matter of fact, if you look at imaging on all scoliosis, 90% of scoliosis is a right curve, okay? And so knowing this, we want to block the right side first. But if you want to do both sides, I'm perfectly happy with that, especially if you don't have any aches or pains. All right, so we're going to block. The first one is going to be on our pelvis, okay, so the top of the hips. The other one is going to go long on the rib cage to block both the pelvis and the rib cage off. I'm going to then use my right hand as a pillow to support my head. I want to keep my down knee down, and then I'm going to work on deep breaths in through my nose, long breaths out through my mouth, and I'll literally feel the air go into my chest. I want to do this for 10 breaths. I like to do it 2 times. The next one that we're going to do is inverted breathing. So the purpose of this is I'm literally going to put us slightly upside down. And so this way, when we breathe in, we actually fill up the upper lungs first to create expansion and space at the upper back and the upper chest. This is different because traditionally our lower lungs are the first to fill up because gravity is coming down and we're upright. So by flipping us up, you're gonna feel a lot more mobility after in your shoulders and in your neck. So what I want you to do is go knees down on a little bit of an elevated surface. So if you don't have a pad, you can use a pillow. Just don't put it too high to the point that your feet will be off the ground. From here, we're gonna drop our forearms down on the ground, and we're not gonna let our hands come too close to each other. I want them to stay parallel. From here, I'm gonna slightly shift my head forward over my hands, and then I'm not gonna pinch my shoulder blade together, but I wanna press them slightly away so that we form the shoulder blades to our upper back. From here, I'm gonna take a deep breath into my nose, long breath out through my mouth. I like to go 6 breaths, 2 or 3 times. All right, so the next one is gonna be to decompress your shoulders and your shoulder blade area. So if you have a band, you can tie it to a pole, you could tie it to like a door frame, or you could even tie it to a fence if you're on the field. All right, you're gonna take a band, you're gonna put it in your wrist, then flip your hand around to grab the band. From here, you're gonna step back a little bit, and then you're gonna let your shoulder get pulled forward and let your shoulder blade get formed to your upper back. So you don't wanna pinch your shoulder blade back. So let it get pulled, and then shift your weight back a little bit without rounding your spine, and what you're going to feel is a nice stretch all the way from your upper trap down into your shoulder blade area, maybe a little bit in the shoulders. I like to hold this for only like 30-45 seconds, a couple times each side. All right, so the last thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll out all the parts of the hip. All right, so we're gonna get down, get on a foam roller, and we're gonna start with the front area. So we're gonna roll out our front pocket area, so the front of the hip where it's meaty right in the front here. So you're gonna get down on it, get on your forearm to support, and then you're gonna roll back and forth on that area. We could even work down to like the middle of the thigh because the hip flexor muscle does run all the way down there. So we get on the middle of the thigh and work all the way to the front of the hip. From there, I'm gonna roll to my side and get more on that side glute, that glute medius. All right, it's a big stabilizer muscle of the hip. It's nice to let that release. And then eventually I'm gonna get all the way up, and I'm gonna start from my lower glute, literally the part where it feels like your butt becomes the top of your thigh. And we're gonna work that all the way up to the top of our waist. So we're gonna go from lower glute to upper glute. So we're gonna come in here, and then we're just gonna support ourselves. So if we're on our right hip, our right arm is back, our knees can be bent or straight, and you're gonna work that whole glute muscle. I like to hit it for about 30 seconds to a minute each spot, and we can go once or twice depending on how much time you have. All right, guys, so to summarize, so the first thing that we're gonna do are use ground-based breathing exercises to create space in certain parts of the body, and to use that parasympathetic nervous system to relax our body and get natural inflammation and healing, allow that to occur. The second thing, then, we are going to target the muscle, so we're going to use traditional stretching, and we're going to use foam rolling. If you follow my account, you know I talk pretty badly on stretching all the time. It's not that stretching is actually bad, it's that people use it as their only source of a warm-up or a cool-down. And we don't want to just target muscles, because muscles are victims. Muscles only respond to the joint position that they're put into. And so we can stretch muscles after we've repositioned the body and created more joint space. Once we do that, guys, you're gonna feel loose, you're gonna feel healthy, and you're gonna be ready to take on the next workout tomorrow. If this information was valuable to you guys, please, as always, please like, share, subscribe, and any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below and I'll be happy to get to them. Thanks, guys. See you next time.